Professor Alan Thompson was awarded the 2020 Solberg Research Prize. His scientific work has contributed significantly to the understanding of MS. One focus is on the progressive MS. I am talking to the Irish neurologist about that today. Hello to Alan in London.
Hello.
Alan, what is the difference between relapsing and progressive MS, and why are the progressive causes so difficult to treat?
So this is a really fundamental question. I think I'll give a simple answer first and then maybe expand on it a little. But I think when we talk about relapsing MS, we're talking about attacks, and we're talking about this concept of inflammation. So an explosion of cells that cause a damage or a transient damage to the central nervous system. So that's a relapse, and that's relapsing forms. Progression is a much more challenging concept, and that's really a gradual deterioration over time. And we don't fully understand what causes that, and I'll come back to that in a moment. But really what we're looking at is a neurodegeneration, so a gradual degeneration of the nerves, of the cells, and the nerve fibers. And that's a more prolonged and a more insidious process. So I should say that although we talk about relapsing as being the earlier part of MS and progression being later, it's likely that both are occurring all of the time, but it's about a balance between the two. So in the earlier parts of MS, early stages, we have more relapses, more inflammation, and less neurodegeneration. And over time, there's more neurodegeneration that is superimposed. However, it does probably start at the very beginning, this neurodegeneration. And I think we're still trying to understand both what causes the neurodegeneration and also how we best have an impact on it. So as far as treatments are concerned, we're really very good at stopping attacks. We're very good at stopping relapses, and we've got some excellent treatments now, over a dozen. But it was much more difficult to stop or delay progression, to actually target neurodegeneration. And that is partly because we don't fully understand it. And this is not a challenge just in MS. There are many other neurological conditions where neurodegeneration is a problem, and that includes Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So it's a real challenge for the whole scientific community to try and understand what causes neurodegeneration and to find really effective treatments.
The complexity of the therapy of progressive MS was one reason for you to found the International Progressive MS Alliance. Are there any other reasons?
Well, I think the main reason is the one you've said, but we were also really conscious that the MS community was seeing lots and lots of new treatments for relapsing forms of MS and very little for progressive MS. And they felt really quite neglected, and they felt very alone, and that things weren't happening for them, that the focus was not on them. So one of the main reasons for setting up the Progressive MS Alliance was to change the focus, to bring progressive MS center stage, to raise the profile. And I think that is something that has really happened. We want to make it the focus for our clinical colleagues and for our research colleagues. And then building on that, we wanted to bring people together internationally. This is a really challenging issue for the reasons I mentioned earlier. You need the best brains in the world. You need them to come together and to focus. And I think they were two really key drivers for the Progressive MS Alliance.
Right. Could you please give us a rough summary of the results the Alliance has already achieved and what you and your team are researching?
So I think the first point I'd make about the Alliance, and I think I can say this with confidence, is that we have truly raised the profile of progressive MS. If you look at the literature now and look at the publications, you will see that that area has increased hugely. So progressive MS has now become a really key area and a key issue, and people with progressive MS also are right at the center. Of course, the Alliance isn't the only reason for this, but I think we've played a part. The second thing I would say is that we have brought together the international community to focus on progression and to put their minds towards how they might solve that. And that, I think, is really important. This is maybe not so tangible. But the third is we have put out a lot of small grants to stimulate our research colleagues to thinking about it, and they've been very effective in getting some groups to think more about progressive MS. But for me, I think the most important thing we've done is we've established 3 international networks, and each of them are looking at different aspects of progressive MS, but mainly looking at mechanisms underpinning progression and therefore potential treatments that would target those mechanisms. So there's 2 networks doing that. And the third is actually looking at ways in which we can measure what is going on, and that is really important. I, for myself, we're really doing several things. We're looking at studies of the spinal cord to see if we can understand how that contributes to progression more effectively. We're looking at precision medicine, about how we might actually identify specific treatments for people with MS, including those with progressive MS.
And what can you say to people with progressive causes? Is there hope? A few drugs are already approved, that these causes will be better treated in the future?
So I think the first thing to say is that we now do have, of course there's hope. There's always hope, but I think there's even more hope now. And we have some treatment. So progressive MS is no longer untreatable. But I think the point that you make is that these current treatments are probably targeting inflammation more, and they have a moderate effect. So we really have to focus on much more effective treatments. Our current treatments are a little bit like the interferons back in the 1990s. So it was the first treatment, very exciting, but still a moderate effect. And we now need to focus on treatments that really target progression. And by that, I mean treatments that target repair or remyelination, and treatments that target neuroprotection. And that has to be the main focus of the Alliance and indeed of the MS community. So a lot has happened. There's a lot more to happen, but we're on an upward trajectory. So huge hope for people with progressive MS.
Thank you so much, Alan. That gives hope to everybody. Thank you for talking to me.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.